everyone to the Pro Impact podcast series. We are again with another guest speaker, Mr. Rudresh Kumar Singh. He is wonderful expert in yoga. About Rudresh, he is head corporate and government programs. He is also heading social spiritual seeker. He is also examiner YSCB. He is a former yoga expert. Welcome, Rudresh, to the Pro Impact podcast series.
Thank you.
Yes, Rudresh. Let everyone know what you do, what's your work.
Basically, means the journey started like 14 years back when I came eventually after completing my graduation into yoga. Leading stakeholders of that time, they all gathered in 2011 in Artificial International Headquarters, and they decided that there is a dedicated day, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Children Day, Environment Day. Then why not there should be a yoga day? So this resolution was made by all these leading stakeholders that we will pursue this. And in 2014, it was pursued by Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji, to UN, and UN accepted 21st June as International Day of Yoga, and that is how this promotion and propagation started at much bigger scale. So yoga has a true approach of learning. You can understand it in an easy way. It's like an informal category of education. People from any background, any kind of career, they want to make their career into yoga. So they go and they don't have time of that longer period of like going for a formal academic education program. So they do go for the training program of 200 hours, 300 hours, or that is a registered yoga teachers training program of international compliances. So they undergo through that kind of training program, and then they become teacher certified teachers to teach. At the same time, a lot of distortion was happening. There are informal category of institution not recognized and teaching anything not ethical. A lot distorted form like hot yoga, nude yoga, beer yoga, all kind of distorted form of yoga. So to have a preventive approach onto that, Government of India decided to kind of have authentic propagation. That is how Quality Council of India or Yoga Certification Board, which we know, came into existence in formal examination that was again launched in 2015. So after that examination, like any person who is kind of seasoned practitioner into the field of yoga but do not have any certification, so voluntarily they can appear at different levels, level 1, level 2, level 3. And in therapeutic category, there are assistant yoga therapist or yoga therapist, and there is a kind of yoga instructor, then teacher and evaluator. So all these different categories are defined. So a kind of systematic approach to regulate the things in yoga, at the same time to prevent the distortions. So this is how India thought, means it was again the initiative of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, that each country in the world, we should have a kind of representative from the government of India to promote and propagate knowledge and practical teachings of yoga and Indian culture. So that is how this project was launched in 2017, and we were among 118 people who were deployed to different countries to promote and propagate. So I was one among those people representing India in Bahrain, and also for short duration in Saudi Arabia. So I have been fortunate to represent government of India in that space. This is all about journey. From there till 2024, July, I was there. And now also I'm more keen to explore its research and development part, policy level part. So I'm more into kind of bringing reforms, that what different kind of programs can be brought into the system, how more employability can happen, and what the better propagation can happen in the corporate and government space. So that is how I'm taking this responsibility. So this is all, I guess, journey about yoga.
I've taken this initiative. You are one of the key members who is working towards yoga, how we can spread awareness for yoga among trainers as well as students, as well as people who don't know the real essence of yoga. It's great to know that. And Rudresh, like it's amazing that you have accomplished too much until now. This journey, you are here. So today's topic is about preventive healthcare, like how yoga can help in work-life balance for busy professionals, and in this AI age where everyone is too busy, like it's like everyone want convenience. It's like yoga, people are forgetting the essence of yoga. Like yoga is from our culture, and they are forgetting. So what do you think, like about the role of yoga, how yoga we can involve in corporate lives so that their busy life also have something effective to do in mid hour of their busy routine in jobs.
We can understand it in a way. I personally believe that it has to be integral part of life. Person can be from any kind of background. But post-COVID, as we see the digital era or the more availability of electronic gadgets, people are more kind of dependent on to the electronic gadgets, the dependency onto the digital world, and how even electronic equipment or mechanical equipment, after running for a period of time, it needs to be repaired. Similarly, we as a human being need to restore ourselves or repair ourselves. And let's say take it as an example of body, how the organs can be more better functioning and responding. So internal organs, to improve the functioning of all these organs, there are certain approaches. You guys absolute scientific in its approach. So detox is one such approach, like prevent cleansing of all the internal organs, sensory organs, or our food pipe, our intestine. So all different organs, even our gums, the tongue, ears, for everything nasal, there is a specific cleansing approach, and time frame is there to practice all these different techniques. So sensory organ cleansing can be done in daily routine. Food pipe or stomach cleansing can be done in 7 to 15 days. Intestine cleansing has to be done in 4 or 6 month interval of time. So cleansing is the root, grassroots level to keep a detox approach to prevent all kind of impurities or whatever toxins we accumulate, how to flush out that. So that is one approach. Then we strengthen our internal organs and we make our joints, we make our body more flexible. So that approach comes through Sushmasana, microcirculation practice. Then you practice asana part. Then you progress into pranayama. And it's all about like preparing ourselves to become more efficient in meditation. So it's an integrated approach. Yoga is not just practicing asana part, it's a very holistic approach. The way we complete any task, communication skills, doing any task, or how sincerely we are into the task. So every approach of life, how quality time we are spending to ourselves, like taking appropriate rest. How you see how life has been compromised in terms of giving quality time to self. The more kind of digital gadgets addiction, people compromise with their sleep. So late night you keep on scrolling, and then you get rest, means less time for the rest, and you start your day in a very hurried manner, and that is how you compromise your health. So giving quality time means what? No compromise with the sleep, no compromise with the quality food, and then actively working for our body to keep it more functional and active. And then pranayama and meditation at the level of, or the cleansing of, means keeping our mind very calm, serene, and peaceful. So holistic health has to be integrated into our life routine. See, work, everyone has the responsibility and different segment responsibility, but how we can make it more effortless, how we can be more efficient into our work, the yoga can certainly help in that. So giving quality time for the self, keeping priority for our mental health or physical health, emotional well-being is very important. Everyone has this stress related to the work, but the more energetic we are, the more prana we have, more life force energy we have, definitely we can deal with the situation very easily. And you see the people, those who really work on the biological clock or we say it's circadian rhythm, if they are managing their routine into that way, sleeping on time, then eating on time, and doing work and resting on time. So things are managed well.
Very true.
But the more evolution, more discovery, and the gadgets of comfort, uh, at the same time, we have really compromised with the health. The food, the kind of food available in the market with more preservatives, more stored or frozen kind of products. So that is also a reason. A slight observation in terms of medical reports. If you see the global burden of disease data, how much people are suffering from different India or world major population is suffering from the cardiac cases because of our food approach, the kind of food we intake, more of acidic food in nature will create more thickness in the blood or developing more cholesterol. That is how we end up into kind of high BP or cardiac or brain stroke or different things. So post-COVID, it is more or more of acidic or sugar-based diets. So alkaline diet approach can be a solution here. Means having alkaline kind of vegetables or its juices or salad can help. So it's a delicate art to manage in terms of food, having awareness, or you see the student population if they are into study. But rarely you'll find that even hardly 10 to 15% students are really fit onto the scale of international sports format in terms of strength or in terms of their focus. Why? Because of food approach. Food is the major root cause for all kind of complication we develop. So more junk food. Uh, if digestive system is not fine, a state of mind will not be fine. You can notice that. So it all begins with the food,
Mm.
then proceed on to the rest part, then come to the practicing of pranayama, meditation. So, and it has to be learned in a proper precise manner.
Amazing. I mean, you pick up the root of the cause. Why, these busy lives are becoming more busy because of the convenience and comfort, we believe that yoga is not comfortable, not convenient. But you have shared that yoga is the way of life. How you speak, communication, how you behave, even your food, what food you are eating, even your prana, your breath. If you have a good prana, then definitely it help you to be. I always think like, okay, corporate culture and this work life balance, it's like we need to include some exercises in the busy hour, like 1 hour or 15 to 30 minutes dedicated to this flexibility. You have opened my eyes that yes, it's there. Still, the first is the food. Getting ready with the alkaline food and taking that responsibility that we have to improve our health. Amazing. I can say that it's a wonderful answer you have shared. Now, in government, like you are working with government yoga centers and you are working with trainers, spreading this awareness about the real yoga, the essence, how we can improve it. Uh, what difficulty you think these yoga trainers nowadays are facing, and where the efficiency is going? Because nowadays everyone is saying yes, they are yoga trainer, or maybe like, what is the efficiency control in these programs?
I think the answer, to make you understand it in a better way. Yoga trainers can really do well if they have very sound knowledge and if they have a very disciplined approach towards the practices. The more and more you evolve, you progress, and you get become very popular, or you have massive outreach, or you are very much engaged into the teaching. But at the same time, if you compromise with your personal practices, somehow you'll not be able to live that knowledge. And the more you are sincere into your practices, more you are sincere into the research and having a very sound understanding about it and living that life, then the propagation becomes effortless. That is what a very simplest way to explain it. I'll tell you with example again. In university format, if you go to the different universities, students are really skilled in terms of practical practices, like making themselves absolute flexible. At the same time, they don't have that skills to communicate appropriately or to reach out to the places. So that strategic vision, the thought process, and how it can be offered as per the need of people, different category of people. Like yoga for children will be a different specific module. Yoga for geriatric population, it will be a different module. Yoga for women of reproductive age, it will be a different module. Yoga for teenage will be a different, because people have different requirements. If a person of geriatric age and if they are suffering from more of medical complication, or if they have gone for a surgery, there are certain do's and don'ts. So contraindication has to be very clear. Yoga teacher must be very sound with the understanding medical reports and which category of complication, what not to be taught.
Mm.
As an example, people with cardiac cases, if you make them do more of inverted postures, that will impact in a negative way. So having that sound understanding about that. So that way, the more sound understanding and sincere practice can really help to propagate better way.
Now,
Like it should reflect from your personality. Then it's easy to convey. Let's say if you are smoking and drinking, you cannot convince person next to you that smoking is bad. No one is going to listen to you. So anything which you are not into practice, you cannot just sell it in a mechanical way. Selling is a wrong term actually. So rather than convincing someone, you can really inspire people to live that life. And that is what gurus or the enlightened people have been doing this. So it was given to very eligible people. And there are a lot precious technique into the field of yoga. Like they say it, the cleansing practices which I talked about, it is also said that Hat Vidya Param Gopya. The sincere practitioner really keep them a kind of secret, and only eligible people they will teach. Uh, it's also a kind of way of internal practice rather than just doing a kind of more of show off.
so true. And here, it's very important that the practices they are doing very eligible. Is there any certification, anything like, for example, I am as a user, as a learner, I
Mm.
visit a yoga practitioner or yoga trainer in any institute or anywhere, and I ask them like, "What is your credibility?"
Mm.
Like, because I myself, for example, going with some situation, a medical
Mm.
condition, I need to
Mm.
be very clear that the person who is teaching me the yoga should be
Mm.
that much eligible. So,
Mm.
any criteria which on which I, as a learner, can gauge any certificate or any authorities there that gauge all these things.
Basically, to go in a formal approach, like from the government of India, IS Ministry is the responsible body for its authentic propagation. So short duration program, and IS Ministry has also recognized and accredited leading yoga institution across India. So there are universities, college, or an institution where authentic yoga certification program is offered from Ministry of Ayush. Means Ayush has accredited and recognized them, and they remain standard in terms of the propagation of knowledge. So there are leading yoga institution. If you name it, we are one such institution, Shashi School of Yoga. Then means the Yoga Institutes, Mumbai, Kavaledham, Pune, Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga, Bihari School of Yoga. All these different leading yoga institutions are there who are really propagating yoga in a very authentic way.
Amazing. So there are any yoga programs that are going on, like sometimes like meetup programs for yoga trainers. You know, like
Hmm.
every yoga trainer can come in those meetups events
Hmm.
and learn more about whatever the new techniques and everything.
Those programs are also called as a kind of continuous medical education, continuous yoga education. So conferences related to yoga or holistic health of that kind of summits can really be helpful for the yoga trainers to upgrade themselves and to learn and interact with the yoga fraternity people. So mostly universities or different institutions, premier institutions across India, they do host such kind of programs. So international conferences or yoga festival of international scale, these kind of places are must visit places.
Any website or any those.
Yeah, means if you go institution wise, institute also host these programs, and regional also means you can like in Rishikesh there is a means annually once it is hosted yoga festival in Rishikesh. Similarly in Mysore also it is hosted. So different parts of the world they are hosting the different yoga festivals where all kind of you will have the experts, seasoned experts talking about teaching different kind of workshops or programs to all the fraternity, basically the seekers. And yoga going ahead with the institution in a sports segment also, like if people are not aware, really, Khelo India Games are happening where there are 4,400 athletes in roughly around 88 different, 27 different sports category. Khelo India Games, it's a national level game where Ministry of Sports, Ministry of Finance, Sports Authority of India is involved. So inter-university games, Yogasana is also a part of national games, and eventually it has gone up to the Asian Games, and then by 2036, Yogasana as a sports will be into Olympics.
Oh
So
my.
India is well prepared, and at university level, inter-university games happens, and then national games also. So following all the mark means they are up to the mark in international sports format. Yogasana.
So what is the start? I mean, for example, a student from 10th
So
class, how they
it begins with at the age of 6, 7, 8 standard also. I mean, students can participate in and district level, then they go for a state level, then they go for inter-university games, and after qualifying into inter-university, you are into the nationals, and then Asian championships. So Yogasana Bharat is a foundation which takes care of promotion of yoga into sports. Yogasana as a sports.
as a
Yogasana Bharat, you can visit that website.
great. As a learning center, for example, a school. For example, I'm a principal in a school. I
Hmm.
want to understand what's the process and how I can train my students and then take them to the national or state level championships for yoga.
Basically, right, eligible people, those who have played at the level of national games and inter-university games, and they are really right eligible and certified people. Those kind of coaches can be hired for the training, and certainly it will require a very routine kind of sincere approach in terms of training. And in routine, statewide championships happens. They need to participate it, and then eventually they can progress with time.
Great. It's
But
great.
it's really a brilliant scale. It has been saved into now.
Yeah, I mean, looking yogasana as a sport is a new perspective, which I can say. I don't believe many people know about this. Thank you so much for sharing, Rudresh, this amazing perspective with everyone. That every child, everyone who can learn yoga, who is expert in yoga, with proper guidance, can do and play in sports as well. Thank you so much. So yeah, I mean, let's move forward. When our topic is preventive healthcare, there is one is like prana. You also talked about prana. I want to know more details. The audience here would love to understand that. And also, it's very important that prana, which is the breath force. We are going to learn more about that.
Means, yoga definition is what? Heyam Dukkham Anagatam means restraining from the complications on or problems which is about to come into your life.
Mhm,
So preventive means what? Whatever complication means boosting your immunity, boosting your health, boosting your prana. We restrain from any kind of complication which is about to come into our life.
mhm.
So therefore, see, a person with the complication will really not be able to practice up to the mark. Health restoration happens, even people practicing it sincerely, it will take little time. Like eventually people suffering different kind of complications, they will have certain limitations to practice. Though restoration happens, and it is slightly slower approach depending on the intensity of the practice. That is why means it is not necessary that you when you have the complication then only you practice yoga.
Mhm.
Practice it
Yeah.
well in advance. Learn it, all the techniques in a very systematic approach. Be technically very correct in terms of practice. And then the kind of having a vibrant result, overall balanced life is a byproduct of it. We really need not to think that we have depression, then we need to practice yoga. Practice, be into the path of yoga, will not be depressed at all.
Yeah, it's so true and very important that yoga is a first approach. You can start from start before. Also, my question here is for about prana, like as a breath force, where we can learn how to make prana and these breath exercises more efficient.
So basically, cleansing of the nasal and restraining from all kind of impurities of vats, pitta, or kapha means routine cleansing. And then followed by practicing, there are series of pranayama. So the definition of pranayama is what? Breaking the rhythms of breath in different scientific manner is what pranayama is. So different pranayama has different purpose. Ujjayi pranayama really to improve your lung capacity. Brahmari to provide a peace, calmful, and serene state of mind. Nadi Shodhan is for the same purpose. So different pranayama has different approach. Surya Bhedi pranayama, along with the bandh, is to make you more focused and to burn all kind of impurities to generate heat in the body. So different pranayama has different purpose. So practicing it in a very graceful way. Then pranayama with mudra really makes you absolute peaceful and you can become more focused. So pranayama has to be practiced. Any kind of practices. There is a Mahasi Patanjali has said in Patanjali Yoga Sutra that Satu Dirgh Kal Nairantarya Satkar Sevito Great Bhumi means for a long time without fail with full honor and gratitude and practicing it without fail means we really become proficient into it. So it's not that like people have approached that once in a week class, going for once in a week or twice in a week. Do we really have food once in a week or we sleep once in a week? Similarly, the breath, the practice of pranayama, though breath is spontaneous, means since the time a child is born until the time you are here, breath is happening. But regulating it in a scientific way is a skill. And for that, we need to devote our time.
True, very true. So, what according to you is the most misunderstood aspect of yoga in government and corporate training programs?
Like just if someone else is imposing on you forcefully and having kind of prejudice in the mind, that is also another form of practice, like any other technique, any other sports or anything. I'm not criticizing anything, but not having a kind of priority towards our personal health. Just ignoring it with a wrong logic that I don't have time. It's all about the priority, not about the time. So ignoring our personal health, like see, all different kind of obligations, social obligation or different responsibilities, or even spending time in gossip or chit chat or anything, then we really kind of compromise with the time, means our personal time. So whatever we do in our life, but if health is on priority, and only you can perform well in each domain, whatever you are into, when health is appropriate.
Yeah, and like what according to you, like it's like a misunderstood of yoga. Like if someone force in government and corporate programs, are there any corporate institutes you have seen that they are incorporating
See, the
yoga?
people when they see from a business perspective
Yeah.
that only the person next to you is seeking money or it is for the monetary or business purpose, that is a kind of misconcept. Yoga is not something means only a way to business. Uh, the ultimate goal of life is what is to create a harmonious society, is to create a happy, healthy, and prosperous society.
So how?
Society can really be well and all kind of people, those who are onto the wrong paths, committing any kind of crime, any kind of violence in the society, is because of wrong knowledge. From their perspective, they are doing right, so they are not taught well. What yoga, integrating it since childhood, inculcating it as a value, as a culture, can really help to address these issues. So not necessarily that when you are really grown up, old, or aged, you get into the practice. Any age is fine, but integrating it from the childhood can really transform the generation.
Yeah, that's very true. And how government or for
Like
example,
initially, you see a child is encouraged to brush, right? To clean the teeth, brushing the teeth. That is imposed initially, but eventually it becomes a discipline.
Mhm. Yeah,
Similarly, initially when you impose and later on it can be kind of discipline.
that's true. That's very true. And like as you also mentioned that you was one of the member like which served embassy of India in Brahmin, Bahrain, I guess. So
Mm.
how did international environments shape your understanding of yoga? Like how outside India and in India, like how you have seen the difference or what?
People are slightly more professional towards the practices. They have slightly better respect,
Mhm,
and the more sincere they are into the practices.
mhm.
So mostly my interaction has been more towards the educational fraternity, academics, the students of school going age, and then Indian diaspora at large also, different associations. So I have been enjoying teaching across all fraternity, different fraternity.
Mhm.
It's not, we need not to be judgmental about anyone. Everyone needs this knowledge and practice. Based on their requirement, the practices and technique have been taught.
Wonderful. So how can you think like yoga be positioned not only as a wellness activity there, but as a leadership and human development activity or development tool?
But see the intent at a broader scale, United Nations has 17 sustainable development goals of different domains.
Mhm.
So how each domain integrating yoga can really help to achieve that domain. Like how yoga can help to solve the problem of poverty or the problem of social justice or different any kind of sustainable development goal, how it can be a value added support when it is integrated. So that policy is being drafted, means it is already drafted and being pursued. So once it comes into effect, it can really be helpful.
Yeah, it's a great application. And when UN and everyone is looking
See,
forward.
like your civic sense really improves. You'll be more onto the ethics, integrity, and values. The more you are sincere into the practices, you will be concerned. You will be sensitive towards your environment, towards the people around you, towards the family, towards society, towards nation, and a global level perspective. And that is how you can help to achieve these goals.
Yeah, amazingly.
Vision really broadens up when we are sincerely practicing.
Mhm. Wow. What advice would you give to institutions and yoga trainers if they want to do one-time sessions, not a regular sessions, one-time sessions, how they can?
I think for the institution, it should not be a event based or workshop based or just one time event kind of approach, practicing once in a year only onto the International Day of Yoga. That will not bring a change. For the showcasing it or for the namesake of an event, it can be meaningful. But really, to get a sense and bringing a transformation or shift into the personality can only happen when we really integrate into our daily life, into our daily routine as a discipline. So for that purpose, has to be integrated in with more consistency in the practices. And for the teachers, they really need to be very sincere in terms of personal practices and enriching their knowledge with authentic text, with authentic understanding, listening to the discourse from the enlightened masters, from the gurus, can really help. And then being sincere onto the practices. Then propagation will be a by default product.
Mhm. Yes, yes. And see, is there any curriculum like large scale yoga curriculum design? Like we books.
Curriculum, yes, certainly by IUS and WHO, there are certain protocols. And any kind of the syllabus designed by universities or IUS ministry, the different IUS ministry, there is a common yoga protocol, a standard protocol for the practice with all the do's and don'ts and its benefits. So people, at least minimum, they can have a better understanding about the common yoga protocol practice. And then eventually, based on their interest, understanding and time available, they can practice different forms of yoga.
Amazing. How do socio-spiritual values influence the way you design wellness interventions for institutes and public sectors?
See, socio-spiritual is like towards society, you are more caring and sensitive. And spirituality is kind of your inner wealth, your strong foundation to be into this world and contributing significantly towards the world. So, socio-spiritual is that combined approach, working towards social upliftment and being strongly spiritual at the same time in terms of personal practices.
So yeah, I mean, what you are doing. So if anyone want to connect with you, how can you help them?
I can help in terms of like whatever guidance or consultation they need, or they need any kind of integrating yoga into their workplace or into their personal life. So as a representative of the organization, we can certainly offer with the resources from the CC School of Yoga. At the level of policy means integrating it at a institution, school, college, academics, or corporate. We can certainly help, or even to create teachers. So.
Great. So if someone like me, if anyone want to be ambassador or want to help in some way, collaboration or anything, so what opportunities your organization provide and how what?
In terms of association with the organization, like once you undergo through, see different schools have their different teaching methodology format. So means the propagation school believes that a person has to be in principle agreement to the teaching format, to the propagation of knowledge. So for that purpose, you need to undergo through the teachers training program, and then you can be associated for the lifetime and being associated with the organization, and then you can be the representative across world. Any part of the world you are into, you can be associated. So teachers training program really certifies you to be to teach yoga across world.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Rudresh, for so wonderful knowledge which you have shared with us today on yoga and how yoga can be beneficial. Also, how yoga is now a part of sports and curriculum system. How institutes can have that curriculum, in a structured way. And yes, any one liner you want to share with the audience?
I think purity in the means clarity in mind, purity in heart, and being sincere towards the action. That is what Gurudev says actually. So living this knowledge.
Living this knowledge. Wonderful. So yes, everyone, you can connect with Rudresh. And Rudresh, let us know everyone that how they can connect with you.
Connect means though I'm not much into the social media, so only way to connect me is through either through LinkedIn or reaching out to the yoga school website, which is www.ccscholofyoga.org/in India. So India corporate and government program, they can approach me or they can write a mail to me, head.corporateyoga@ccyoga.in.
Thank you so much, Rudesh, for this session. And we are looking forward to see how this yoga session can transform so many lives to learn, to bring the curiosity so that they learn more about yoga and apply it in action as you have shared. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We at Pro Impact, we provide personal branding, presence, and also support with the experts like Rudresh. If you want to connect with us or Rudresh, there are details in the description. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.
And thank you so much for having me for this discussion.